Yeah, the lady at the counter who like takes your ticket is the same lady as at TSA. She's like, "All right, put your bags in."
So it's like a Waffle House.
It's like a Waffle House, exactly.
This is an after-school program podcast.
What key are we in? G?
All right. Hey, welcome back to Church Stories podcast. How you doing, PDB?
Wonderful.
Chase?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Guys, you already know. This is a special one. Hey, we've got a good friend. He's a friend of the show. Friend of mine. This man DM'd me a couple years ago and was like, hey, call me, and sent me his number. And then we talked for like an hour. And my wife was like, how do you know him? And I was like, he told me to call him. And we just hit it off. You know, you just hit it off with somebody. Ray, what are your credits, man? I don't want to butcher them. You've produced for Social Club, Andy Mineo. You've DJ'd for Andy. You've done the gamut of Christian music entertainment in terms of festivals and tours.
Ooh, Dove Award winner.
You a Dove Award winner? Bruh,
yeah.
Got a Dovey?
You got it. PD and I were at the show last year. I don't think they let us anywhere near an actual Dove Award.
No, they didn't. I didn't see one.
No.
Yeah.
But you tell us, man. Tell us about like a majority of your credits, man. How do you brag about yourself? This is
this is how I brag about myself. I'm another jerk who went to church. How about that? Yeah. That's how I started. You know what I mean? I'm a jerk who went to church. Grew up in New York. Been DJing for the last 10 years. Producing for 15 years.
Wow.
Been doing, the guys that you mentioned, CHH guys, KB, Cannon, Lecrae, Andy, Social Club, those guys, I have a background in vocal production as well, I grew up singing in church. And that's it, man. Besides that, I'm 80%, gangster wit, 20% good looks. You know what I mean?
Mathematically, y'all. Some of y'all might have been wondering. I really want to know mathematically how does the guest kind of scale out?
Can we rebrand this podcast to Jerks Who Went to Church?
Jerks who went to church.
It's really
man,
good.
I'm telling you, Ray.
Yeah.
Jerks.
I just don't like those. I think people are people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just love evening the playing field.
Yeah. Dude, you've been super fun to talk to the past couple of this year since we've been hopping on the phone and talking just about the music space, Christian entertainment, the space that we're in. Because you, similar to me, we all have this like, we're very appreciative for it because we've made a somewhat of a living. But we're also like, hey, this is whack, and you kind of have to play the part to get with it, and it's been really encouraging. So how have you I don't know, man, kept your head on straight in the midst of creating and figuring it out with people who are also jerks who went to church, but you differ on stuff and whatnot.
Oh man, how have I navigated that? I've actually, I actually didn't know how to navigate it at first. You know what I'm saying? Because, bottom line, we all want to be liked. You get what I mean? And so at first, I was really, really uptight, just not trying to just figure out not to offend anybody. I come from New York. We're very brash. We get straight to the point with certain things, and certain things that are a New York trait, especially when it comes to time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you exactly if you come like if you go to a New York diner, right, and you're looking through the menu and you've had the menu for over 25 minutes and you still don't know what you want. You're gonna get, a couple of, come on, buddy, get with it, brother. You know what I mean? Get with it, brother.
So
if you do one of those, they're gonna walk past you. They're gonna be like, I'll be right back. You know what I mean? You know, so for me, like, you know, you want to be liked, you know, and so like I found my balance of being honest and also leaning on my personality. You know what I mean? I don't know if you noticed, you know, but I'm not shy. You know what I mean? I'm also not like, you know, there's a goofballness to me, but I also like getting things done, you know? So I'm all for jokes. So the best, just to answer your question, you see the New York part of me just came out. Just answer the freaking question, right?
I love that you're critiquing yourself. You're like, come on, buddy. Come on.
You just got a little New Yorker on your shoulder.
Yeah. 2 New Yorkers on both shoulders.
Absolutely. So to answer the question is I try to be as authentic as possible to myself and just be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the honesty is refreshing. You know, especially when churches do certain things that you didn't grow up doing, you know, and I try to honor that church's expression of faith. You know what I mean? You know, so I would say things like, hey, I really appreciate the invitation, man. Thank you so much for inviting me, because it's a privilege to be invited anywhere. You know what I mean? And to be put in front of other people's crowd. You know, that's not your crowd. You've been invited, right? So I try to affirm that I appreciate being invited, but I also try to say things instead of saying it's whack or I hate that or I don't like that. I say, hey, I don't come from that type of expression of faith. You know what I mean? And I also try to say that it's not my favorite, you know, but if this is what you want, you know what I mean, I'll do my best to roll with it.
Yeah, it's a good lesson for you, Shama.
I like that.
And also,
I'll just take time and go, hey, I know you invited me here, but you, this is all whack.
Yeah. And you know what's so crazy? That's a thing that I normally want to do in my personality in the New York. You know, this is whack. This, you know. But I think being married too, right? You know, if your wife makes you something, spends time making you something, and you say, I don't like it. You know what I mean? That's not gonna be a cold bed for a while. You know what I mean? You know, I'm letting you know, there's not going to be any horizontal lambada happening for a while. You know, just kidding. Anyway,
you're gonna be on the couch for a couple weeks.
In all reality, exactly. You know, you're gonna be sleeping with Fufu, the cat. You know? Anyway, like, you tell your wife, thank you so much. You know, this is good, but it's not my favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the best way to answer. So I answer it with tender love and care. Next, no, just kidding.
You call this an entree?
Yeah. All I see is tray. You know, they give you these small little portions. You ever go to those restaurants and they give you like a little piece of food like this?
Yeah. But the plate's massive.
Oh, it's an entree. All I see is tray.
This is the intro, not the entree.
My favorite is when you go to one of those upscale restaurants and they don't have a dollar sign next to the number. It's just like freaking 20-ounce sirloin with potato wedges and garnish or whatever, and then it's like 37, and you're like, whoa, 37. Just 37? I do that. I get just 37.
We're talking dollars, euros, Bitcoin.
Oh, that's the trick. Since they don't specify, they can hit you with whatever. Now you 37 Bitcoin in the hole for one meal.
Yeah, give me something. Give me an emoji. Give me this emoji.
Yeah, just like spend it, figure it out.
Yeah, give me the sour emoji. You know.
So Ray, do you live in Florida now, or where's home for you now?
I live in Miami.
Florida man.
You
so close to the U.S.
It really.
I was about to say I didn't know we sawed Florida off into the ocean yet.
Well, no, it's just about
listen,
to.
I've had to work on my Spanish really bad since I've been here.
Do you think Florida's gonna sink into the ocean at some point? Is that a possibility?
Man, it's a possibility. I like cyan. You know what I mean? So
we lose a lot of old people.
Yeah.
The science. Well, here's the thing. I used to think that Florida was a bunch of old people. You know what I mean? And predominantly, I used to think every time you flew over Florida, it used to smell like Ben Gay. Get out the thing. Smell like Tiger Balm or something. Jergens lotion. And
the moment you fly over Florida, freaking a Hawaiian shirt just spawns on you. You're like, oh crap, I look fat.
Yeah, but what I've learned is that 300,000 people a year have been moving to Florida.
Wow.
So it's actually a lot younger than it used to be.
Oh, because they keep dying.
They keep dying, and some 19-year-old is picking up grandma's will.
So it's import and export.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
That's my whole theory about it. What were you saying?
Working at T-Mobile, with a BMW.
Yeah, freaking shredded for no reason. Just freaking jacked to work at T-Mobile all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you picked up some Southern hospitality on your flight down from on your move to Miami?
What's so crazy? I picked it up from traveling more to like Nashville and other places, but Miami doesn't have too much Southern hospitality.
It's just New York but Spanish.
It's more like this. In Southern hospitality, if you go to some place like like Tennessee or Mississippi, if somebody says, you're online, they'll catch a small conversation with you. Hey, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. Yada yada yada. Over here, it like gets to Southern hospitality for a second, but it's like a greeting. Hey, how are you? Good. All right, cool.
Yep.
It stops right there.
That's all I wanted to know.
I really didn't care. I'm just trying to look like I'm being nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a lot of great things about Miami. Isn't that crazy how I just crapped on Miami, crapped on Florida? It's like that one guy who really doesn't love his wife. Oh, my wife, man, I can't stand her, but I love her.
I love her. Don't get me wrong.
I love her to
death.
I love her to death. But man, that girl, she just,
That reminds me.
No,
her entrees are just.
Her entrees.
Her food is whack.
Ain't it? A lot of tray.
Not my favorite.
She needs to focus on the entre part. That reminds me. I worked with a guy who was studying to be a marriage counselor, and for some odd reason, I just conjured this question up. I just was like, "Hey, what is the thing that you notice in couples? If you notice it, you know for a fact that the relationship's not going to work." And he was like, "Oh, it's easy." It's like if I'm counseling a couple and the other person is like rolling their eyes when their partner speaks, I know that relationship's not going to work. And so ever since he told me that, I remember going home and my roommate was dating this girl, and dude, every time he talked, his girl wasn't about it. And I remember thinking, uh-oh. It was like,
oh, no.
Dude, that joke was like having X-ray vision. I was like, oh, no. And then he dumped her. And I remember thinking, I knew that. A counselor told me. I kind of knew this was going to come.
Wow.
Yeah. So now when you see it, dude, it's not fun. It's not fun to know.
So what's the verdict on me and PD's various relationships? Are we making it?
Let's all go to lunch and you can determine.
I'll be like, hold on, you talk. No, you look. Let me see your eyes. I just want to make sure there's no eye rolling happening while my boy. I'm trying to look out for my boy.
No eye rolling and no hand smelling.
No.
And while you're talking, she's like that. There's a problem.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
That's a fighting move right there. Like somebody just sniffing their hand,
Now it's just a little vape. Somebody's hitting a little vape. If your significant other vaping while you talking, that's disrespect.
I will also stay away from women who carry Skittles in their hand and wiggle them while they talk to you.
Is that a thing?
That's That's New York. Is that New York?
Yeah. If
We can talk
anybody
about
talks like this,
And pop them in their mouth.
Man, I've never seen that. Now I want to see it now.
you'd be like, I was warned about you.
It's like meeting a boss at the end of a video game.
Here's a trait that you'll like, but it'll come off weird, but you'll know they'll be very supportive. If they clap a lot,
Yeah.
if they like, all right, that means that they were in some type of like inner city basketball league or something like that. You know what I mean? You'll know that they're going to be encouraging because sometimes, believe it or not, I've clapped like 6 times just underneath the table, just while you guys talk.
Man, right? Okay, so you're married. You have 2 kids, right?
Yep.
Now.
That I know of.
Hey, that Christian tour gets crazy. No, so walk us through. Winter Jam 2017 was wild. So walk us through, man, like how you got to where you are. I mean, I don't know. You buy or you steal a turntable.
Well, and let's start with the inner city basketball league.
Yeah, and then you. I mean, PD and I don't know. Not so much Chase. PD. And I grew up listening to Christian hip hop, man. So
the 116 crew,
the whole, and
I've heard a Lecrae song.
Name one.
Hey, which one did you work on?
It's trying to be slick.
So in a way, you are. I mean, you've helped mold the history of so many of us, right? Like with songs and stuff that you've worked on and tours or whatnot. How did you get there? And then how does it feel? Because to us, we're like, oh yeah, we just talked to Ray on the podcast. He worked on, but then also I'm like, man, we probably heard a song that you worked on like a zillion times in the past couple, 5 or 6 years. And now we're talking to you. Like, how did you get into that, man?
Well, the best way is that I have very supportive parents. They were as supportive as they can be, for the situation that I was in. I grew up in a blended family. I had stepsisters, I had 3 siblings that weren't biologically related to me, you know what I mean, that I grew up with. And they did their best to, whatever I had interest in, they try to encourage it a little bit, you know what I mean? A lot of it, was kind of like, when are you going to grow out of this? You know what I mean? Type of thing. This is where it's at. But I kind of stuck with it and kind of pushed back a little bit to their security fears, the fears of like, hey man, you need a city job, and I kind of held on to my dreams a little bit. It wasn't that I didn't get a regular job or anything like that. Like, put it this way. 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, I was working for a bank, you know what I mean? So I wasn't like, oh, I graduated high school and I started doing music right away, It was one of those things that I did it as a hobby, and I also supported my church, with my talents, and my church really made space for me to because I was the guy who would tell my pastor, I was like, yo, this is really boring. You know what I mean? and he was like, oh, so what would make it better? I was like, man, we need some real music up in here, music that I like, And most pastors and stuff like that, at least that I've come encountered, you know what I mean? They're not that supportive to letting young people make music for them, by them type of thing. You know what I mean? And so I started like that, man. I started collecting records as a kid, you couldn't invite me over any one of my relatives' house because, I would see a little crate of records and, a few records would be gone. You know what I mean? You get a phone call. Hey, I'm missing this Marvin Gaye record. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You know what I mean? I used to collect a lot of records, go to garage sales and buy, stuff out of a quarter bin, dollar bin, That's how I got into it, man. I got into it, and I also got into it more professionally by helping a friend. I had a friend of mine named Andy Mineo that you guys know, that he was in college and working on his music career, and I thought that he was great. And I just wanted to support him as much as I can, So I was there to help him record. I was there to curate the records that went on his first album, his mixtape and then his album. Just trying to be a good friend. I had talents that would support him.
Yeah. Are we talking about Andy Mineo or C-Light?
I'm talking about C-Light and don't say those words, man. My phone might buzz. Secret Service might just jump in there. You'll get a bunch of heavy set, men in black.
Not C-Light. We don't talk about. Man, dude. Man, that's so cool, man. What is probably the after a while, I'm sure that a majority of the shows and the projects kind of get the same, like they become the same once you've been to one of the award shows or whatever. They might get a little familiar, but what is one of the coolest things that you can look back on and like you think fondly of?
Man, just being able to do, like, I like working for Andy because he does a lot of his own private shows on his own tour, that's not connected to a church. And that's not a jab at a church. Is that when you go on your own tour and you do it in a venue and you go with a semi and you go with your own equipment, you can reproduce, the same feeling over and over again because it's the same sound, it's the same set. And one of my favorite things is just the creativity that this guy has. Like, just seeing him like say, man, I wish I had like I wish I had like one of those big industrial fans blowing on me while I do my thing. And he was like, yo, man, let's just rent a leaf blower. You know what I mean? And we rented a leaf blower, and there was just a guy underneath stage, like, just moments like that where everyone else looks at it like, oh my God, like, this is crazy, right? It's literally like, it's Phil using a leaf blower. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
it's stuff like that. Seeing guys like openers like Words Played, who's, he's a stand-up comedian / rapper, and just, he has a wacky inflatable lady, like, those things that are like,
yeah.
You want me to demonstrate more?
A wacky, wavy, inflatable tube man, I believe.
Yeah, tube man. So he had a lady, and her name was Gertrude. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's just seeing people get really creative. Have moments like that. Meeting people that I thought I would never meet, like Stephen Curry,
wow.
And having little conversations with them. I've gotten to meet Justin Bieber,
The Biebs.
Gosh,
the Biebs.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. What'd you say to Steph Curry? I don't even know. I probably wouldn't even approach him.
Oh, man.
You approach him, he just, a ball spawns and he shoots a 3 right. You're like, dude, we're not even on a court right now.
Yeah.
I wasn't even playing defense right now. How did you?
Babyface assassin.
I mean, with a guy like that, like, you just try to treat them like normal people. Like, you don't want to catch eyes of people, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes organically stuff happens. Like, I was in a green room in California, and I just had a little playlist of like some West Coast instrumental hip hop music. I was playing a guy by the name of Maxwell, but the vowels are X's,
Yeah.
And great music, and he was like, man, what's that? It was like, oh, it's my playlist. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, man, the last few songs I've been hitting. I was like, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, just like little conversation like that, and just being normal, like just allowing it to be organic. Don't force anything. Same thing with like Justin Bieber. I had a small conversation with him. I was at a little after party thing, and I was sitting on the couch, and he sat down next to me, and I was like, "Hey, man, what do you do for fun that regular people do?" You know what I mean? And he was like, "Man, that's a great question." You know what I mean? Nobody asks me that type of question. Because I told him, hey, I'm into movies. I like watching like comedies, slapstick dramas. I don't discriminate, on movies. I like movies, And but he was like, yeah, what's your favorite genre? I was like, rom-com. He was like, mine too. I was like, all right, well, my favorite movie is 50 First Dates. And he was like, yo, that's my top 5. And so that's just it's like a conversation that you would have with your boys, and that's pretty much it.
PD, what would you ask Steph Curry or Justin Bieber?
Well, I would probably do the same thing I did when I met Chris Tomlin, which is I just got on the ground and I was bowing down. And I need to borrow your approach because Chris Tomlin asked me to leave.
Golly, man.
No, that's not really how it went. That's what I wanted to do. What would I ask Steph Curry?
I feel like we met
you put a chair, you sat down, you let water hit you, and you were like, let it rain.
When we were at the Dove Awards last year, we met a bunch of people, but I remember not all the conversations were very much like they had the same conversation over and over again with a bunch of people.
We tried to switch it up a little bit.
We tried, but yeah. You try to, throw people a curveball occasionally. But, I mean,
Like when you insulted Hillsong to their face.
Yeah.
And I was like internally freaking out. I was like, is he really doing this?
I'll never.
What'd you say?
What did I say? I said to some of the guys at Hillsong, I was like, so some people think your songs are. What did I say? Some people think your songs are like unbiblical.
You're basically like, hey, some people think your theology is crazy.
Yeah.
But he didn't say it like that exactly.
And they were like, really? They're thinking,
College is like whack.
Yeah.
And I'm like in my head going, chill, Shama.
Well,
chill.
I forgot that like
They're people.
when you go to those events like that, and you've been to those events, like you just have to pretend. You just have to pretend with them. So you have a record that's everywhere, brother. I haven't listened to your record, but I heard it's everywhere. A producer put on a cue card that it's charted. All right, that's what I'm trying to. But yeah, you gotta the emperor. You gotta brag on the emperor's new clothes.
I hope the Dove Awards people don't listen to this podcast.
Hopefully they won't. But hey. Hopefully we'll be there in October.
Love the Dove Awards.
Yeah.
I had a great time with the Dovies.
We had a good time. Yeah, we were with a good TBN guy, and we hung out.
Absolutely.
You You were a couple months ago. We were talking on the phone, Ray, and you were saying about we were talking about either I just came back from Pigeon Forge or you were in Pigeon Forge, and you're like, I've been to Pigeon Forge too many times. You said the airport's got has 2 employees, and everybody flies in for I'm talking Gaither homecomings, and also like Andy's played a couple of events at Pigeon Forge, right?
Yeah, the lady at the counter who takes your ticket is the same lady as at TSA. She's like, "All right, put your bags in."
So it's like a Waffle House.
It's like a Waffle House, exactly. You get in the plane, and then the cockpit opens, and she's there.
And she's there. You're like, what the heck? This lady's doing triple duty today.
Yeah.
God,
you look outside the window, she's throwing the bags inside, It's that small of an airline.
That's funny,
of
man.
a city.
That's funny.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Gatlinburg is the T-shirts that you see there. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Nah. It's it says God, country, and Trump. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. I mean, whatever your political, siding is, but I would honestly put my wife or my daughter somewhere up there. You know what I mean?
Ray, no. It's God, country and then Trump. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's in that order. So family
you can
and
mix up the
kids, they don't need. Maybe they fall into the country. They're citizens, right? Maybe.
And then number 4 is Mike Pence.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I saw some really atrocious T-shirts there. I saw a shirt with Mike Pence where his head was self-imposed on an eagle, and it's like it was crazy.
Of all the politicians,
it was like Home of the Brave. It was like I was like, all right,
dude. I was there. I was there earlier this year, and man, there was a lot of Brandon merch.
Man,
there's a lot of merch.
I'm caught up on the Pence eagle. Like Pence doesn't have eagle energy. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if I spray paint him on a shirt, he does.
Pence has like the sloth from Zootopia energy. Trump has eagle energy.
Yeah.
Whoa, BD. You go on the record? Whoa.
I'm just saying, if Trump had a spirit animal, it might be an eagle.
All right. Hey, Ray. So this podcast is called Church Stories.
No, we're assigning animals to every politician. All right, next up, Nancy Pelosi. I'm done.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to. Zoom is kicking me off real quick. Let me hop off and start another meeting. And
send me another invite.
I'll send that over.
Hey, while they're doing that, you want a freestyle rap battle?
Sure. Shama's in the corner. He's filling time. I'm trying to figure out how long I could rhyme.
Yeah.
I got Chase here.
What?
And he's killing it.
Yeah.
I'm rap battling him. Why'd I give him a compliment?
That was very kind of you, PD. Thank you so much. Name is Chase, and I think we should get lunch. If you haven't already eaten, I'm kind of hungry. But also, we have a podcast to do.
I'm done.
All right, yeah. Who won?
I tap out. Who won?
Hey, Shama,
Who's
who won?
next? You decide. For some reason, this will get 20 million viewers a video.
It was like Abraham Lincoln versus friggin'
Batman. Or so, yeah.
It was Trump. Wait, no, it was Romney versus Obama with
that was a good one.
A Lincoln
I liked
cameo.
I liked Sherlock Holmes versus Batman. That was a good one.
Oh, Darth Vader versus Hitler was my all-time
They did a
favorite.
bunch of those. They did like 3 of those.
Those are fantastic.
They did. What was another good one?
I remember like the last one I ever watched was the Jenna Marbles one.
Oh, Rhett and Link did one. Oh, they did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and then Renaissance Painters.
Oh yeah.
Rhett and Link did a bunch of them. They did the man rap battle, a man off rap battle.
And we
Check
back.
1, 2. My hips don't lie.
We should have been in the middle of something when he
Check.
came in.
All right, we back.
Gotta unmute. Gotta unmute. Gotta unmute.
Oh.
Gotta unmute. Gotta unmute. You gotta unmute.
Dude, are we getting on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're unmuted.
We're leaving that in.
All right, so
Gotta unmute.
so the podcast is called Church Stories, Ray.
We got a potted plant.
Oh, is Ray Plant Rock? The podcast is called Church Stories. So this started off. My boy PD and I we realized we had a bunch of crazy church experiences, and we needed to document them. And then we also loved talking to people about their church experiences too. Last year we brought Chase on board.
Almost 2 years.
2 years ago, man, I
Almost,
can't believe it. And so yeah, that's what it's about. So we'd be remiss to not get you on the show and then not talk about a couple of church experiences that you have had that stood out.
Yeah. Well, I got 2 good ones. I give you. So I was invited to do this event. This is before I met Andy, and I'm at this event, and it was a very crazy, like, just a lot of theatrics was in this place. You know what I'm saying?
Was it a church event or what was it?
It's a church event. You know what I mean? I was providing the music. I was working with another hip hop group. This is very early on. So the pastor goes up there. He's preaching, right? He's preaching about the Holy Ghost, and the Holy Ghost is coming with fire or whatever. And there's like a lady rolling, like on the floor. You know what I mean? Her wig comes off. You know what I'm saying? It's like rolling over like a tumbleweed. And then I looked to my left, and I saw the craziest thing. It was like two ladies were going at it, like prophesying on each other. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, I think they didn't like each other. I think they were like trying to like prophesy stuff to each other.
Like a rap battle?
They were going back and forth like a seesaw. You know what I mean? And it was just, like you could tell they didn't like each other.
Oh,
like,
they were like,
they were like, it was like they were cursing each other out in tongues. They were like,
or maybe it was like first one to knock the other person over wins.
Yeah. It was crazy. I never saw anything like that. And then another experience I had was there was a show that I did. I'm trying to like keep like people's names out of this, but we did this show, and the people that were hosting the show were respond to my wife. Cool. All right. So the people who were doing this show, one of the acts didn't show up. The female didn't show up. She was supposed to do an act or whatever. And long story short, they go to me and the guy that I was working for at the time, and they ask him, hey, what do you think we should do, because we're missing this slot right here and stuff like that. And we're like, hey man, it's your event, dude. And this happens a lot to us. You know what I mean? Like, like the opener doesn't show up or whatever, and they got to scramble and try to fill time. Yeah. And we're like, hey, it's your event. Like we don't mind. Like you can do whatever you want during that time. This is like the worst answer to give. Okay, because then the people who are putting together the show, the promoter. I'm going to say they, so we can keep the gender like, they go and they say, well, I used to be an artist. So like, I used to be an artist, and I've been singing or whatever. And I'm like, hey, we're like, hey, fam, this is your thing. You can do what you want to do. Right. And so supposedly, like, the person doesn't show up, and we know the person. So when the person doesn't show up, but when they go time for them to go up, they have more production than the main act.
What?
They got a 5-piece band. Wow. They got lights going.
This is the person who was the promoter who was like, I've been an artist, like I dabble in music. And they just happen to have a 5-piece band.
Hey, they were just waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
They just happened to.
Yeah. And and it was kind of like they did like metal rock. You know what I'm saying? Metal rap.
Oh no.
It sounded like a mixture of like Meatloaf and Young Thug having a baby.
What, it sounded like 2005.
Meatloaf Thug. We've all heard
Meatloaf Thug.
Yeah.
Come on now.
The drums, it was trappy, like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was like a man. Both those are the both worst, both weirdest things that have ever happened to me. It's like, wow, like I did not predict that, at all.
He made up this elaborate lie so he could get some stage time on his own show.
I mean, like the thing is, I don't think it was a lie. I just think that like all the people, like, you know, when that one guy uses like the church band is his band too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they're like, yeah, you know my stuff. Let's go. You know what I mean?
You know my
stuff. It was crazy, and I would have been like delightfully pleased if the music was great, but it was bad.
It was Meatloaf.
You said like rap rock. Was it like Limp Bizkit kind of stuff?
Nah, I would have took Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have took Limp Bizkit, Kid Rock. No, it was like look you know, and then like the ad-libs were really trapped. Yeah. I was like, okay,
man. Oh wow, man.
It was great. It was great because by the time we got on stage, people were like, oh, thank God.
Yeah,
you know.
The barrier of entry for music, I think, if you are passionate, it's high. Like you want to do really well, but for some odd reason, there are a lot of people who are. I'm always very surprised when somebody's like, I'm an artist, and you're like, whoa, you're gonna use that word?
That being said, we want to invite you to our new Christian rap group. Church Jerks.
It's church jerks.
Church jerks.
We simplified jerks and went to church.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of well, like a man on a hill.
We're really inspired by Meatloaf and Young Thug.
Yeah, so a lot of heavy guitars, auto tune. Just roll with us. We need a DJ. We'd love to.
For some reason, no one wants to work with us,
including
nobody.
Me.
I'm for it. I'll back you up. I'm for it.
We only get our gigs by booking other openers and then telling them not to show up.
Don't show up. Don't show up. We'll cover your place.
Oh, man.
Man, what you got?
Yeah.
What you got going on next, Ray? What you up to this summer, the rest of fall?
I got just a bunch of little fly dates here and there. You know, we're taking it slow. We're kind of rebuilding things, you know, in the Mineo camp. You know, it's a good thing, though, because, you know, things are just getting even super dope. Like, just we're able to, like, really, really plan out exactly the artistic way that we want to do things. And so doing that, I think we might be doing the winter jams. You know, in January, I'm not sure.
You
like I call it the winter jams.
The winter jams. Whoa! Hey, I went to it back when it was just one jam. Now they got a selection.
Now it's a 2-day event.
Now it's a festival. Golly, they're not doing Greenville this coming one.
They're not.
No, I heard they skipped. That was like a big deal.
It was started here. I think.
I know. No.
Didn't they just get to it but just later?
Oh, maybe.
I think
know.
So. That might have been like in the second round.
We're in Greenville, South Carolina. I don't know if Winter Jam will play here. If y'all bring the jams, will y'all bring the jams here?
Yeah, bring the jams to us.
Yeah, we got to bring the jams. You know, hey, their lineup recently has gotten really, really better. You know,
okay. I was about to say, you about to bite the hand that's going to feed you?
No, I keep it real. I keep it 100%. You know, like. It don't feed me. It feeds the people I work for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I think that sometimes when they put together these festivals, like they're putting it together for their demographic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that their demographic is changing a little bit. You know what I mean? Because now I'm enjoying those bands too. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can. You know, do like, you know,
Skillet?
8. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, Skillet is all right. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know if I can, you know, put some respect on some Skillet things. You know, I don't have, I appreciate those guys what they do. You know, imagine political ads. I appreciate those guys.
What Skillet spirit animal?
Now, what I'm saying is that like there's been some bands before. Where I just couldn't really get into it at all. You know what I mean? Like, you know, even New Song got that one song You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got one song. Even they got one, you know, like that you like that you gotta like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was a couple bands that I don't know. It just wasn't my taste. You know, it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I gotta.
I won't
ask,
say it's whack.
It's whack. Next.
Wasn't for me.
What was the vibe in the Mineo camp when Kim K posted coming in hot on her story?
Oh, we were freaking out. You know, I ain't gonna lie. We were freaking out.
Man.
We're like, oh my god,
Dude.
this is gonna go everywhere. You know, it kind of sucks though a little bit because like when something goes viral during a pandemic, you can't really leverage it.
Yeah.
There's no shows going on. So it's like, you know, I love like talking to family members. Oh, your guy, Mineo, man, he's the coming in hot song, man. He must have made a killer. I was like, we make most of our money doing shows, and we weren't able to.
Yeah.
So there's that, you know.
Yeah, it's the further along we get
Yeah.
in our corner of the Christian entertainment, it's really I'm like, man, is the only way to make money to be away from your family for like freaking 200 days out of the year? And apparently that's the answer to some.
Well, yeah, it's the answer if you're not the big fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's still growing. You know, like it's still growing. The Christian market is still growing, and I think that what will make the market a little bit better is if the people who make certain art, like if you can make songs that cater to other people, you'll be doing two things. You'll be being a blessing to the church, you know what I'm saying? And you'll be also being a witness to unsaved people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I like about working for Andy is that, you know, we'll get like a few burkers in there, you know what I mean? People who are like non-Christian at all, you know, a whole nother religion. And you'll be like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I would never expect you to be here, but I do expect you to be here now because Andy has made songs that just, you know, resonate with everybody, you know, and I like the idea that those people end up writing in and saying, hey, I didn't know you were a Christian, and, you know, it connected me to this other song, and now I'm going to church, you know what I mean? It's pretty dope. I just think that when one, if we don't include young people in the music that's coming out, you know, it's not going to be any good. And two, you know, we have to be able to give something else, you know, that other people can relate to.
Yeah. Man, that's really good.
Yeah, that was like really deep out of nowhere, but you know, it is what it is. Kid.
I will say, man, me, my buddy Tony, and Andrew, we came and saw you and Andy in Atlanta last year during the Neverland tour, and it was good. I mean, the people who opened up, they were really good. But then I remember when you and Andy went on stage, man, dude, that was, I mean, it was, people use this term a lot on the internet, but it was a movie. That junk was wild. I remember thinking, whoa, this is what, and I've, like, people have been like, hey, do you want to perform? Do you want to do one of your silly songs? And I've done a song on stage. And then I remember watching you guys, I remember thinking, like, oh, this is what it's supposed to look like. you know, and I just remember thinking, wow, this is, you know, there's like really and truly like a level of professionalism that you don't get by just occasionally going up a couple times a year. Like you could tell it was very well crafted, and that was really cool to watch. It was really cool to watch. And I know people kind of give you know, Christian entertainment and Christian music and Christian rap like a bad
whack.
Like, hey, buddy, somebody you play some Christian rap and you're like, hey, buddy. Come on.
You can't get to that level if you just play in the background.
Hey.
Hey.
Not
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Chase didn't get it.
Don't
Chase,
Yeah, well, I give all my credit to Songs of Larry, because that's what got me where I'm at today. The real ones will know where that's from.
Hey Ray, this has been awesome, man. We always wait before we go, we got to check in with my boy Chase. Chase, let's check in with
Chase,
you. And then we gonna land this plane.
I don't have a mustache this week.
Sad.
My old theater professor or teacher from high school shared me and Robert's last short film on his Facebook the other day, and so I got a bunch of messages.
That's better than an Oscar, right?
Yeah, no, it felt nice.
That's
nice.
Yeah.
But one of the girls in the theater department I hadn't talked to since high school messaged me on Facebook after she saw it. She was like, "Hey, that was really good. You've gotten a lot better since that time that you ruined the entire production."
Whoa.
And I was like, "What are you talking?" I was sitting there and I was like, "Ruined the entire production." That's a big thing. I feel like I would have remembered that.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and I asked Elizabeth, because Elizabeth was there, and I was like, "Did I ruin an entire production?" She was like, "I don't know. I don't think so. I don't remember that." And so I was thinking, and I finally remembered what I did. We did this one play, and this play was written by the teacher, our theater teacher, and he specifically wrote every other scene was called The Chase. He wrote it for me, and and so every other scene was me on stage, and there was this one scene where I was supposed to be reading Shakespeare with another actor off of this piece of paper, and the problem was I didn't feel like memorizing it. I didn't want to memorize all the Shakespeare. And so I was like,
You said all that Shakespeare? Get this Shakespeare out of my face.
And so I was like,
This is The Chase.
I already have to read the paper, and it's supposed to be a blank paper. But I was like, what if I just use the actual script, so that way I don't have to memorize the Shakespeare? So the
You
scene
could just say Shakespeare. Why are you saying
Memorize the Shakespeare.
because it's not him, it's the Shakespeare content.
Oh, okay.
That's what he called it, his content.
Okay.
He was the original.
Shakespeare worked all that. This man wrote soliloquies and all these things just for people to be like, man, I love that dude's content.
He was the first content creator, really. So
Jesus was the first content creator.
Hey, let's I mean, if we want to go back, God was the first content creator when he dropped. When he dropped Earth.
Yeah.
And then he had to do that soft reboot with the flood.
He was like, hold on a second. He was like, guys, I'm gonna log off for a bit. I'm gonna take 40 days and 40 nights away just to step away from my mental health and to kill everybody but one family.
The ratings are falling off.
Noah's family was like the Kardashians of that time.
Yeah.
All right. So this girl, the girl that messaged me was my scene partner for that scene. And so before we went on, I had handed her my script, and I said, when you hand me the paper, hand me this, because I didn't learn the Shakespeare stuff. I didn't learn Shakespeare.
I didn't learn the Shakespeare stuff.
And I guess she decided that was unprofessional of me.
Ooh.
And she gave me a blank piece of paper.
Nice.
When we were on stage in front of hundreds of people.
Wow.
And I remember my feeling of like my heart dropping when she handed me the paper and I looked down and it was blank.
That's evil.
Like I remember thinking like,
evil.
what? So have you ever
That's
tried
pulling the parachute of cord? No parachute.
You guys ever tried to improv Shakespeare?
Oh man, I would pay so much to see that.
You were improvising. He was going through songs in his day. He was like, Jonas, stop it, the feeling.
You
Dude,
just a small
Romeo,
kindness girl.
I don't know what I said.
To be or to vibe out. That's the cue. That's the Q&A.
She ruined the production, not you.
She put this on you. That's unfair.
I somehow made my way through this scene, making up Shakespeare, the Shakespeare, and I remember afterwards, no one realized.
Wow.
Except for the director and the girl in the scene with me. And so I saw that as a win.
Yeah.
She
saw it as ruining the production.
Yeah, and so I messaged her back and I said, that was your fault, and then I blocked her, and that's the end of my story.
You should have said you're whack and then blocked her.
Yeah, then I got married to her. No,
Yeah, you're like,
Wow.
and now we have 2 kids and one of them.
That was a great checking in with Chase.
Yeah.
We don't get many of those.
Hey,
Sorry.
you ruined this. Sometimes you ruin this. Remember when you ruined the production?
Well, it's because I told PD to hand me a script with my checking in with Chase.
It gave you nothing.
Oh, man.
Hey Ray, we always end this this show with church stories, with praise reports. Just something, man, something you thankful for, dog. You've been to church. You a New York Christian.
Yeah.
Do you have a praise report, man?
Yeah, and so you making me want to say funny things, like like a New Yorker would be like, God, I want to just thank you for my Tomlin boots and my New York Yankee hat.
You already know.
You know,
Yo, what's up, B?
God, you know what I mean.
What's up,
Appreciate you, Lord. Nah, I mean, hey,
New York Christian is like
you know,
mugging someone on the street and then thanking God that they provided
Thank you,
someone.
God. Thank you, God, for providing this
mug.
iPhone
like-
10s.
it's like NYU. It's like NYU meets School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
You know, like NYU and School of Hard Knocks come together. I used to have this pastor friend of mine that used to say "Nah, I mean" every time.
Nah, man.
I learned that from Tech 9.
He talking about God's good. Nah, I mean.
Yeah. All right.
Hey,
So
you know-
here's what I'm grateful for, because I got to run. I got a wife and kids. You know what I mean?
Oh man. I not mean.
Imagine coming to so I'm just honestly, man, I'm just grateful. I just had my second daughter. I'm grateful for my kids, and that's what I'm grateful for. I've been spending a lot of time with them lately, and that's pretty much it, guys. I'm really grateful for my kids and my wife.
Yeah.
I know it sounds a little cheesy,
No,
but
it's wholesome.
Whack! Oh, you ain't been on the
Imagine
road 200 out of
Oh,
350 days out of the year. Oh, you've been a present father? No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I know,
man.
right?
Having kids, like, dude, I went out of town a couple weekends ago, and it was supposed to be like a 2-day thing, but I extended it. And then when I got back, Zoe, our youngest, who just turned a year in April, dude, she had taken a couple steps here and there. I went to Oklahoma. I come back I leave on Thursday, come back on Sunday, and she is walking full time now.
Full-time walking.
Full-time walker now.
So you missed when she flipped the switch.
When she flipped, yeah. I mean, I saw like the first couple of steps.
Full-time,
But then,
bro. She's getting
like,
benefits,
Yeah,
man.
bro. I mean, she was she was seasonal for a bit there, but then now she walks now, and so traveling now. I'm like, oh man, what else am I gonna miss, dude? Also, this is my praise report. Siri and Alexa understand my son now. He's 3.
Aww.
He can tell Siri, "Hey Siri, play Drummer Boy by Justin Bieber," and Siri understands him. He's listened to that song 5 times a day, minimum, for the past week. I showed him that song because he got a little drum set, and I wanted to show him how to do the ba-bum, and I was like, "Oh, that song is perfect." And it's not perfect if he loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my praise report.
What's your praise report, PD?
Awesome.
Oh, mine.
Well, here's a praise report. If I don't pick up my kids, the cops will. All right,
Guys,
ahead.
all right.
Go ahead.
We
You can go.
love you,
You
man.
can go.
Appreciate you, brother. This man went. Awesome, man.
If
We'll
it-
see you, brother. See ya, brother.
Let the cops do it. All right.
Oh, sheesh.
All right,
now we're just
looking at ourselves.
Now we're just
What if we just-
looking at us. Freaking, this is weird.
I need to shave.
You a little too blue over there, Chase. You to the wall.
You know, man.
Yeah.
I wore white.
What's your praise report, dog?
My praise report is that I had the most intense VR workout of my life.
Workout?
Workout, dude. You have no idea. You
that's-
have no idea.
That's
dog.
That's what Zuckerberg wanted. He wanted us to live our lives in VR, and you are giving him what he
dude,
wanted.
I'll move to VR land as soon as
Upload your brain to the cloud.
Yeah, but it's called Thrill of the Fight. It's a boxing game.
I gotta buy that. You were telling me about it.
The first one, I was getting real blown up. Like, I was winded. And then by the time I'm on like the third fight, when I get the 1 minute break, I was on the ground.
What?
Yeah, I was like,
Well, you were like on a little stool in the corner, like freaking refueling.
I would look at the.
Your dad was in there with a water bottle, rinsing your mouth out,
wiping sweat around the oculus.
You got him. Keep your hands up.
You got a champ.
The round would end. I would look at the clock. I would get on the ground. I would look at my coach and be like, just give me like 40 more seconds. I'll get back up.
Wait, you would say that?
Yeah, I'd say it to
coach?
him.
Oh.
He's not real.
I was about to say.
Can we fight each other if I get this game?
I think if we...
Because I'll win.
Why would you?
if we both got the creed.
I can't fight you in real life. Hey. Because our faces are on camera, but I'll fight you in VR.
That joke about not having any good checking in with chases, you're going to pay.
You going to pay. Your avatar going to be black and blue, brother.
Give me a few weeks, and I'll be at a conditioning level where I won't be on the floor anymore.
Knowing PD, I guarantee his avatar is already a black guy. I guarantee it.
PD's an ally.
Yeah. By the way,
PD's an ally of allies.
All you have is boxing gloves in this game, so I'm not anything.
That's the price for VR.
Yeah, it is. It really was. I had to put ice packs on.
They should have never given you your Dove Awards check.
I had to grab. I had to grab 2 ice packs after I was done playing this, which has never happened.
This Dove Award check ruined. This Dove Award check ruined this man's life.
It was $25 in a Subway gift card.
This man went $300 in debt to get it.
And then for 2 days after, I could barely pick up stuff. So I'm telling you, shadow box violently in your room, and it's a great workout.
Hey, y'all heard it here. Shadowbox the boy. Find PD, challenge him.
I'll win.
On site. It's on site when you see him in VR.
Let's go, Chase. Let's do it in real life.
Hey, brother, I don't know if you want to play that game.
I don't want to play that game.
This man graduated from Malden High.
Dude, update on my hitting my head.
Oh, no.
My head is finally not sore to touch where I got hit. But ever since I got hit in the head, my anxiety has been back like tenfold.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate to hear that. Sorry I keep making jokes about it.
No, it's funny and like it's a good bit, but it's just like it was a wake up call because it's like I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, and being there was a wake up call to me that I should probably like never even try to do the training just for fun.
I was talking to PD concussed like you should get in there and try it.
Yeah.
Just try it, man. It's fun.
Gosh, man. Hey, this was fun, guys. This was fun.
Just try it. It's fun.
Yeah, try it out. Try it out.
But I will beat you up.
Yeah, in VR.
In real life.
No, it's not.
I'm talking to
don't threaten. Don't point at the camera. Don't point at the camera. This was good. I hope y'all enjoyed hearing from Ray. He's a really funny guy.
He met the Biebs. He's never going to fail.
Yeah, man. we won degree of separation from the Biebs on this podcast.
That's true. And Annie Mineo.
I've always felt.
Did you say Annie Mineo?
Mindy
Annie
Kalingo.
Mindio. Mindy Kalingo. Sorry, Chase.
That's all right, man.
Listen to more Christian rap, Chase.
All right,
I don't know.
Caught it, faked you out.
Peace. I'm just kidding. I'm going to throw it for real. I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be here.
I don't want to
be here.